Let's just run it. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Whew, okay, what's going on, guys? Melissa Miller, aka MelissaBackwoods here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous to make this video. I was nervous all day thinking about it, but that's because obviously this is a video talking about my first ever knife design. Well, first ever mass-produced knife design, if you will. So here it is. I wanted to, I've been sneak peeking it, showing little previews of it every now and then, but I really wanted to make sure that we had the product available and that I could link it in the description before I actually made a full-fledged video on it. So we're gonna get a little bit more in depth about this knife, but first I just wanted to kind of give a little backstory on this blade. It really represents a couple different things to me. I started reviewing knives, oh gosh, back almost a decade ago, back in like 2016. My area of focus really was wilderness survival, bushcraft, and fixed blades. So this knife is, I really wanted my first knife design to be a fixed blade. That's always been my area of comfort, and I thought it would be a cool nod to my past. And then in more recent years, I've really grown interest in EDC and practicality. I've also really become a big fan of EDC fixed blades. So all that being said, the idea of coming up with a knife that really combined elements of my past, present, and future came to fruition, and the WharnEDC was born from that. So I wanted this knife to just not only be really functional and useful, but I wanted it to just be badass looking. And that's really where Tim from TKell Knives came in and just was such an awesome collaborator on this design with me. He really helped execute my vision and perfectly. We went back and forth on the design and came up with this, the final product, the final WharnEDC. Fun little play on words. I do not like how the lighting in my living room looked. We got to change location. Yeah, this is so much better. So with the knife, you're gonna get this pouch. You're also gonna get the WharnEDC patch that you can throw on the pouch. Oop, just found out you're also gonna get a MelissaBackwoods patch with the kit too. And you're gonna get some little certificate of authenticity. You're gonna get a Band-Aid, some cleaning stuff, and of course you're gonna get the knife, which comes standard with this really cool Uticlip attachment wire system. With this carry system, really simple. All you gotta do is slide it onto our belt, push it down, and then it's attached. That's not going anywhere. Makes for a great across the waist or appendix style carry. And yeah, the sheath is on there, super sturdy. This is also good if you want to do kind of like a concealed type carry. Maybe might need a little slightly baggier shirt, but even with this tighter shirt, can't really tell. Which is one of the things I wanted. I did want the knife to be small. To be small enough so we could carry it without it being super obvious. Let's talk about this Wharncliffe blade shape. Now we have jimping right here, a nice little place for our thumb to rest when we're going up that thumb ramp. We also have jimping up here so our index finger can scoot up forward for precision cuts. I love the Wharncliffe blade shape. It is easy to sharpen. We made the tip on this super piercy to do those small precision tasks, especially like, well, opening Amazon packages, which is one of my main EDC tasks that I do. Now, another important facet was that I wanted some sort of modularity with this knife. So it's gonna be available in not one, not two, but 3 different grips. We're gonna have this Sentry grip, my personal favorite, because it just looks freaking cool and it gives your pinky an additional place, a little added security when you're holding it. Or you can have the shortened Piranha grip. And another option we're going to have available is adding an extended grip onto this for people with a bit longer hands. Another component of this knife's modularity is the variety of carry options. Like I showed you, the sheath option with the belt clip. Also, this knife makes a solid neck knife choice. For neck carry, I would prefer the shortened Piranha grip, just a little bit more lower profile. Get under there, more concealability when wearing it on the chest. Or you can opt for pocket carry, which is my personal favorite. On the website, we'll have the option to add a Uticlip. This slides onto the pant seam. You press this little retention tab right here, and then you have the ability to draw your knife out of your pocket while that sheath stays nicely secured to your pant seam. I love carrying my pocket, pretty much all my pocket fixed blades like this. Now, one thing is I wanted this thing to be slicey. We settled for 12/100ths of an inch or 0.125 inches. And I'll tell you, for a fixed blade, yeah, this is a little slicer. It doesn't have that curved belly because it is a worn or it is a straight edge, but it still just has a lot of slicing edge and slicing power. This thing comes really freaking sharp. Another thing you might have noticed is this nice deep finger choil. This knife is just so very comfortable in the grip. So even though it's not the biggest blade, for things like cutting and slicing boxes, it really helps you just kind of get that extra added security on the knife and just really feels like an extra attachment to your hand. Also, I gotta take a moment to talk about the blade coating. It is nickel boron in battle worn. That was Tim's call, man. He put that on this and I'm like, man, that looks so pretty, especially with all like the kind of micro milling that you can see on this blade, all these little ripples, which I didn't get a chance to talk about how cool and special and actually just kind of emotional it was for me to hold this knife for the first time at Blade Show, Texas, and see my logo on a knife. I really love this little logo. Reminds me of the shadow puppets that I used to make when I was a little kid. You know, this one right here, and it just puts a smile on my face. Look at him, so cute. Oh, another thing I want to mention about the ring grip is that it's not really meant to flip. I mean, if you're like me, you're not going to be able to help it, but there's no real guard on the knife and that little part can nick you. It's just honestly for a little bit more security in the hand and because it looks freaking cool. But yeah, I don't know, but it is surprisingly comfortable in a reverse grip, though I wouldn't consider this a self-defense knife. Now let's talk about blade steel. We opted for Nitro V, hardened to an HRC of 61. I really like Nitro V blade steel. It's stainless, it's tough, it's easy to sharpen, and it keeps just the price of this 100% USA made knife a bit more attainable. We also will have it available in 80 CRV2, which I actually don't really have much experience at all with that knife steel personally, but a big portion of the TKell community really enjoys it. So they are going to be producing some variants of it with that steel as well. Another thing I just love about this handle is the little extension right here, which, like I said, that serves as a resting place for the index finger. Really thoughtful machining and grippiness on the TKell handles, which is another reason I've always liked TKell, is because this stuff is secure in the hand. And then on the shorter piranha grip, we can really get our whole hand around that grip. Or if you want, you can also add a paracord through one of these lashing screws, like I just saw on Best Damn EDC did that, and that's going to add a little bit more length to the handle. Now the blade length is 2.65 inches with a blade width of 0.96 inches. And I really like, I think that's a good width because it's not too long, it's super concealable, but it is really enough to get good slices on packages, thicker pieces of rope. And it's also, like I said, it's still concealable in a good EDC size. For a fixed blade, this knife is light. I really can't barely fill it in my pocket. It comes in at 2.16 ounces, and with the sheath, it is coming in at 3.4 ounces for this whole setup. Okay, it looked like it was gonna start raining outside potentially. So anyway, yeah, there you have it, the WharnEDC. Really special knife to me. I also just wanted to say, it's so cool to be able to work with TKell on this. TKell is really one of the first companies that really just believed in me as a content creator and has supported me in my creative endeavors from the beginning. So it's really just special that I'm doing my first knife design with them. All that being said, we do got to talk pricing. So the WharnEDC is going to come in 3 packages. It's going to come in the solo package featuring the shortened grip. That will be $235. If you want to do the grip with the ring grip, that's going to be $265. And if you want to do the package, the Trinity, it's going to include the ring grip, the short grip, and the lengthened grip options for $295, so you can interchange them out depending on your mood or your use. And I know that $235 to $295 is not going to be in everyone's range, and I completely understand that. It stinks, I wish I could bring the price down a little bit, but it's a pretty standard pricing for a completely USA made blade if you compare this with other knives that are 100% USA made. And we will be also doing a Blade Show Atlanta limited edition with the copper inlays. These are going to be hand turn rivets, also all made in the USA. These alone I think were like $30 for our cost. Anyways, that's going to be a bit steeper, $335. We're only going to have 100 of these. They will be available at a first come, first serve basis. We'll do 50 on Friday and 50 on Saturday of Blade Show Atlanta. And I'll be at the TKell booth. I will be at the TKell booth Friday and Saturday morning of Blade Show, saying hi to people and hanging out and being appreciative of you all. there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out my first ever knife design. I'll be covering it more, probably doing some fun short form videos on this in the future. And you know, I have been carrying this on my hip for the past 2 months, and I've been so happy with just how piercing, slicey it is. It's really made me been a happy little fixed blade companion, and it just looks cool in my pocket. Sorry, I know I keep saying that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for the support. I don't think I would have ever gotten the courage to do a knife design had I not seen such a wonderful amount of support on this channel. And you know, hopefully you guys enjoy this design, even if you know, if you don't want to buy it. Hopefully, yeah, you think it's fun and cool. And I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you, TKell, for making this design possible for me. And I hope that I'll see some of you at Blade Show Atlanta. I'm really excited. It's the world's largest knife show. And maybe I'll see some of you there this June. So I'll be at the TKell booth. Okay, bye guys. Have a beautiful week, weekend, whatever time of the day it is or week it is for you when you're watching this. Okay, bye-bye. If you like things that are sharp and pointy, then maybe you should subscribe to my channel.